Welcome to Mediumship Sparks, where we connect more deeply with spirit and source and follow the sparks of insight and inspiration that bring us greater awareness, healing, and just more flow into our lives. I'm Noelle Dean, intuitive medium, licensed therapist, and your host. A quick note before we begin: this podcast is for educational purposes only and provides general information. It is not medical or psychological advice and is not a substitute for care from a licensed health professional. I'm so grateful we get to step into this. Noelle is here with Margo. And Margo, you're a really spiritual person in every way, shape, and form, and you're having a crappy start to your day. Right now, that's the energy that you're feeling really aware of. And that's, I don't want to say unusual for you, but one of the things I've learned to trust about you is that you always find a way to work through it and get some insight and learn something. Like nothing is wasted, is my experience of you. And so this seems like a good opportunity. And I can already feel the emotion come in about it. I'm not sure what that is yet, but my eyes are watery. Like I'm feeling like emotionally touched about it. This is also very real because we all struggle, and it can be hard to figure out and learn how to turn that kind of thing around.
Yep.
So
For me, the words would be, I have this energy and I was anticipating seeing you, and then it didn't happen. So the energy is still with me and I can't figure out what to do with it. I can be angry, I could be sad, but neither one of those are something I choose. So it's like, what else to do with this energy?
So let me ask you, was it energy of like enthusiasm and excitement before?
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. And just for context, I just took off my neck brace and ice pack, but I woke up and my neck has only gotten more intensely painful this morning, and I wasn't feeling comfortable driving to Margo's house. So we were going to spend time together. We haven't in a while. We both really, I won't speak for you, I cherish the time that we actually get to spend in person together. I love it. And yeah, it would be disappointing. And one of the things I'm feeling really aware of, even in hearing you say what you said, is that something I've been trying, but I forget all the time, but something that struck me, and maybe because I heard it from you, that I want to be able to do is when I feel off, I want to be able to understand and look at it like there's this energy visiting me. Maybe it's the energy of feeling unproductive and sad about it, or the energy of disappointment, or the energy of sadness. And why is it visiting me now? What can I do to, I don't know, support it, let it go, whatever, and then bring in a different kind of energy. So it's like an energy management way of looking at things. Is that how you relate to it when you're talking about this energy? Because you're talking about, how do I transmute this? It sounds like.
I was more at the beginning of the stage. I hadn't even gotten to transmuting it.
Gotcha. No, I get that.
I had just gotten to, what do I do with this energy?
Gotcha. Okay. So it was, let's say, enthusiasm and excitement before.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now it feels, you mentioned disappointment, but maybe there's something else.
I could get into that, but that I don't know that's necessary. I just want to know what to do with it. I don't need to name it. I
Okay.
don't need to get into the emotions of it. I've done a lot of therapy, so I believe in all that. But this is more, let's just suppose I don't have to name it.
Okay.
Let's just call it energy. And what do I do with that energy?
That's a great question. What do you do with that energy? What's coming to mind is you could let yourself feel it for a moment, maybe trying to push it away a bit. I hear that a lot when I listen to things about dealing with emotions in general, is that a lot of times we don't let ourselves feel things. And if we let ourselves feel it fully, sometimes that makes it dissipate. I don't know if that feels right to you, though.
Right now, my boy cat has come up and he's cried and he's coming to my rescue, and I'm petting him. And the energy is really softening. I'm not sure this is right, but what I think is just to acknowledge that I was disappointed. And that thing about acknowledging disappointment and not getting into the reasons, because it doesn't matter the reason. It doesn't even matter if you lied and you just didn't want to come. The result is what I'm reacting to. And now it feels pretty young, but it's about just acknowledging I was disappointed, not worrying about you. The energy is, oh, the energy is mine. It's not really yours. It's not really anybody else's. And for me, it's about staying with my own energy, knowing that it's just my energy. And I have all the power and all the God sent energy to do with it what I wish. It's a little bit about thinking I was giving away my power because I wanted to, or giving away my energy. And I think that's a little off, that we don't give away our energy. We can share it, but my energy is mine. Trying to think if that's true. I think it is true. I think that I've been operating under the idea I came here to give energy, and maybe I do a little bit, but it's more about energy exchange. And when there was no energy exchange, when you didn't come, that I'm only willing to do that once in a while.
Exchange energy.
Willing to be disappointed and stop.
Gotcha.
Now,
So
this is another way to have the energy exchange on Zoom, which
yeah,
you offered the other day, which I absolutely said no to. So you went and had a bad neck just so you could have what you wanted.
damn it, I did because I'm a brat and a child. So I love that you're asking whose energy is this even? Because sometimes when we feel off, it is somebody else's energy that might be tapping on us, or maybe they're just in our consciousness and we're absorbing things for them. I was wondering about that, about this, because empath alert, my friend is burying her dad today and I'm not able to be there. This is a friend in New Jersey and I love her father. I was wondering if that might be part of where this is coming from. So I should also ask about my neck. Is this my energy? And I'm getting a yes too. And sometimes when we think it's a therapy term, somaticizing, but basically it means that we take something emotional and make it physical. So if I said, oh my gosh, this thing is such a pain in my neck, and then 10 minutes later, my neck hurts, that was me somaticizing. But I didn't say that about something. But when you talked about your boy cat coming over to you, what occurred to me was love and affection. And I'm with you. Maybe you were planning to give me some of your energy, but we really do exchange. And it's interesting because I normally don't think of myself as being very impactful sometimes to other people. So when you were talking about the exchange, it was like, oh, maybe you actually wanted and needed some energy from me too. Because sometimes I try to be mindful to not feel like I'm taking energy from you because you're so wise and I just admire you so much. It'd be easy for me to be like, Margo, talk to me about my life. And Margo, help me. But I feel like we have a more mature relationship than that. There's always an exchange when we're together. And that's part of what I love about being around you is I feel like I get to contribute to you also. So this is a good reminder for people who sometimes don't feel very important, is that if somebody's expecting to see you, you might have no idea what that entails for that other person. Yeah. Yeah. And I would think that a lot of people would be overly happy to get some of your energy. So when you're like, I don't do it that often, I was thinking, I think you might do it a lot because you are quite social. You go out, you're part of groups, you're part of get togethers, and you always are looking to give and contribute to people. In some ways, that is how you operate, but it might be like you were counting on the exchange, maybe more, and it's winter and the weather has been a little overcast at times and you're getting over jet lag. So maybe you needed a bit more energy that I could have provided, which I'm determined to give over Zoom. And believe me, I didn't fake this. I would fake something else. Like I have a hangnail. This thing is literally a pain in my neck. I know. I'm just saying. But yeah, nice to dig into. And look, I think disappointment is a very hard feeling to cope well with and be like mature about it. I feel that way.
What's mature about it mean to you?
Not get overly caught up in it. I can have grace for the plan didn't work out, or not even talking about just today, but just in general. I think disappointment when we get excited about something or we're hopeful about something and it doesn't work out, that can feel a little bit crushing in its own way.
Would say that I don't feel that very often anymore. Things work out.
Yeah.
Things work out. And yeah, this is the exception. This isn't the rule I live by. And I honestly, I won't live in a world where it's constantly upheaval or constantly.
Yeah.
I'm just, that's not the world I want to create and no reason to create it. So I don't live there.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's rare for you to feel disappointed.
Yeah. It's generally all the people I hang out with closely like this. There is a intentional creation of dependability, of giving, of receiving, of being available, and there is an intentional life that we live.
Totally get that. Like reliability.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I mean on ourselves, and there's an intentional creation. Believing you're holding hands with the divine, it's not just you manifesting. I don't like people. I don't comfortable with that term. I manifested this and I manifest. That's not very in depth to me. But I believe that we can hold hands with a universe that is conspiring for our good and that things work out. Things intentionally happen as I intentionally bring my consciousness, my divine power, my connection to angels and ancestors and guides. As we come together, life works. I believe, and it feels that way to me.
Yeah. What occurred to me was that, like, as a therapist, I remember learning that there are a few like real emotions, and sometimes pretty much everything else is like a derivative of that thing. Oh, thank you. So usually what's underneath upset or even anger is sadness. And it's easy to want to avoid sadness, which is why like anger can cover it up or other things can cover it up.
I don't think I avoid sadness. I think I seek dependability and joy and peace.
Yeah, I can tend to avoid sadness and try to distract myself. I'm trying to be better about just being able to sit with it.
Sit with it, but see, I put more of my energy in seeking rather than staying with and avoiding.
Yeah.
If I want peace, that's what I want. And if there is not peace and there's anger and stuff, I'm not going to put very much energy there to avoid it or judge it or blah, blah. I'm putting my energy in peace. That's the laser beam.
I hear you. So when you're talking about identifying the energy that you're feeling and like looking at it and calling in energy, you call in the energy of peace, it sounds,
Or joy.
or joy. Gotcha. Okay.
Abundance, all the attributes of the divine there. And I don't want to spend my energy on the opposition to that. I don't have that much time left. I can't afford to squander it like I used to.
But also, that's a powerful way to live, like to intentionally, consciously call in the energy that you really want to experience. I don't think that way normally. Sometimes I'm like, how do I feel? not let me call in the energy that I actually want to feel. That's what I was saying earlier, like when we first started talking, was I'm trying to remember to do that, but it's such a new practice for me. I forget all the time. I can really get the integrity of that with you, is that's how you live, because that seems apparent. That's how you live. You do have a lot of peace. You do have a lot of abundance. I could see how you wouldn't be disappointed. You live in many ways a very empowered life from yourself and the divine. It's beautiful. You're a great example of that in a lot of ways. Yeah. It's nice to hear it in action, especially when something comes in that isn't aligned, that isn't part of that. Like how you cope with that and process it through to get back to where you really want to be. That's such a powerful thing to do for oneself in general. What occurs to me right now is to just take a moment, or I'd like to take a moment and just shut my eyes and just send you some of the energy of love and affection to maybe balance out not being there in person. Because I know we're connecting over Zoom, but it's not the same. When I'm with you, there is a warmth and an enthusiasm that I think just naturally arises. And I could see how neither of us are going to feel that unless we deliberately create that.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
So what am I doing?
Meh, whatever you want.
But isn't what we like it is equal. That
It's an exchange.
yeah.
So why
So
don't we
then
send that? Sorry.
let's do an exchange.
Yeah, let's send it to each other. I love
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I'm back.
Yeah, me too. That was nice. Thank you. I imagined hugging you for a long time first and just being like, I love you, Margo. I love you. And then picturing us in different areas of your house and feeling your gentleness, which is what I'm normally aware of. And then I tend to get excited about things we talk about. And I wanted to bring some of that energy into your home because I think that's part of our normal exchange. And then I saw sitting on your patio and at the dining room table and in your office. Yeah. And then I wanted to get quiet and actually let myself receive what you were sending because I was feeling it the whole time, but I wanted to just focus on it for a moment too, which was very nice.
First, it started out, there was a big black blob with me. And my general reaction would be to dismiss that. But I just thought, let's just see. So it was big and black and inky, and it was coming out. And I'm sending abundance, love, joy, and peace. Abundance. And this black thing is just boom, 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 boom. And I'm doing joy, peace, abundance, and love, joy, peace. And then I have a belief that there is no way for something to be all dark. That is not possible. There's got to be one speck of light. And so I don't articulate it in my thoughts, but I believe that. So this blob, this going, bum, bum, bum. And then as the abundance, joy, peace, and abundance, joy, peace, and love, as it just like covers the desk and goes to where, I guess, to you. First is a sparkle, and then it's all light. Yeah. So it becomes an exchange of light. And I think the black was the lack of light I felt at the beginning when all this happened. And then sticking with it and sticking with it, it has to be light because that's the divine. That's, and then it ended up joy, peace, love, joy, peace, love, and abundance, joy, peace, love, and abundance. And it becomes all there is, and it's light. Isn't that nice?
That's very nice. How are you feeling now?
Good.
Yeah.
Yep. My gut is light. My feet are light. My energy is mine. Maybe enhanced by yours, but it doesn't have that overlay of culture or hurt, whatever you call that overlay, which is not real. feels real, but it's not real. I know. This is a very good example of the overlay of unrealness that is unreal. This was very good.
Yeah. Ooh, I'm getting chills up my right leg right now. Ooh, they love that. Yeah, like almost a facade. Yeah,
Sure, it is a facade.
it is. I feel different now too. And now energy's coming up my other leg too. Interesting when it's one at a time. It's just always interesting to make it seem more real when you're experiencing that kind of thing. But yeah, gosh, our thoughts or what we make of our thoughts or whatever, it's just so easy to get caught up in that. Then you can talk about it. And then when you get to the heart of it and you're able to release it, it's, oh, phew, like it's freeing, it's uplifting. It's a lot of really, I'm so glad we talked about that. I feel different now too. I feel a lot more kind of solid in myself as well as connected with you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your process and all of that. That was helpful.
I don't think this is the end, but I think it's the end for right now.
Perfect.
I do want to add, if anybody hears this and says, oh, that's the reason she didn't go, so this could happen. That is not the way I believe. I don't believe that. That sounds like a Christian God that punishes you and then gives you a present. I don't believe that this was caused so we could get further development. I think we took an experience and waded through it. That takes maturity and dedication. But that is not God causing something and then giving us a candy bar afterward.
Man, I'm glad you said that because sometimes I absolutely think that way and not meant as a punishment, but when it first started really hurting, when I was realizing I really shouldn't drive like this, I was like, huh, I wonder if I'm avoiding an accident or something.
Well, now he could have been. See that,
Yeah.
but that's different than, in fact, I believe in that. But I don't believe in giving you a pain and then so that we can work it through and learn something. Just don't, it's like giving you cancer so you can be happy that you have health. I just, that's too, that doesn't work for me. I don't believe God does that. That to me is very, it's an old Christian thing. And maybe then it worked and helped people. No, I don't. That cause and effect, I think, got mixed up.
I'm glad you brought that up because I haven't heard anybody talk about it that way. And I can see there's like a fine line. I had cancer and and I feel like I learned a lot from that experience and changed a lot because of that experience. Do I feel like it was meant to be a gift even though it was painful? I guess I don't look at it like that. I look at it like I think that I chose even before I came, hey, if I'm not on track to do the things I really wanted to do, which is why I came here in the first place in this lifetime, I need a few things. And this is how I look at it. I don't know if you agree with me at all, but I just get this sense there's like a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And if plan A is I skip into my life's purpose, I'm getting some chills on this. Great. If I don't, then plan B is something small happens that is supposed to help me get on track. And if I don't respond to that and I stay stuck, then plan C might have been breast cancer. And if I was like, screw it, I'm done, I'm not going to grow in this life, maybe I just decide to leave or I turn it around and then make something better with my life to fulfill the purpose I actually came for. What do you think about that? Do you agree with that?
I believe that I got breast cancer because I took hormones for 9 years
Mm.
to keep from having a baby. I believe that's why I got it. When I got it, I I don't know, a few years into being a spiritualist minister and stuff and studying science of mind too. I just said, hey, I'm going to use everything I know and make it all usable and practical. And so I did, and I learned a great deal. I don't believe God gave me cancer. No, I believe I got it because of my choices when I was younger. And when I was in my 50s, I was back on. They had an effect. So to me, it's a reaction, a spiritual reaction to something. I really feel like God or the divine and I, it's a very mutual dance. I did get a message just now that, that could be exactly true for you, everything you said, because that may be how it's set up with you and the divine. And I don't believe there's track. We got to be an A track or B track, religious track, that. And so for me, that doesn't work. But that doesn't mean it doesn't work for you. And maybe that was set up. For me, works is a very interactive. Even when before I came, the things that I wanted to experience, it was very interactive. That's just the lifetime that I chose. So there's no one track. There's no one, like yours is, I believe that I was going to be helped, so I would stay on my path. My thing is very interactive. So, okay, God, what's next? That's the way this soul did it this lifetime. But souls are not in the army in line. I believe that works for you. And I think that's right. And I believe that's not the way I do it.
Totally get that. It's definitely not a one size fits all. Sometimes when I hear people, like I have somebody that I know whose adult child had like a stroke or a heart attack in their 30s, really young. And when I hear that, it brings up that plan A, plan B, plan C thing. But you're right, that doesn't apply to all. And knowing your personality to the degree that I do, I could see how you would have been like, no, I'm not doing the plan A, plan B. Like you set it up in a way that I could see really works for you because you are looking to create with the divine.
We're all in the same pool. And my lane goes like this. and it works for me.
I gotcha.
And past lives, I know I've been looking at that a little bit. The strength of the past life and the drama from the past life. We all have that differently. I know that I died as a young Black woman with her hands up here, strung up and not choked, but strung up and died. I know I was burned as a witch, and that little bit of pain that came with, and the insanity noises people were making as they watched me burn. Those things, what I'm wondering now is, can I also bring in the strength that I had as a young woman before I died as a slave, and the strength and the attunement that I had before, not as a witch, but as an attuned, maybe like I do now, where I can get messages, that the strength. I think I've focused on the deaths and the difficulties. And now I'm looking at more of where were the strengths, and do I still have those?
Wow. I love that.
Okay, that's for another podcast.
Yeah. That'd be a great one. Thanks for spending this time with me on Mediumship Sparks. If this episode resonated with you, please like it, subscribe, rate, and certainly share it with somebody else who could benefit. If you're interested in any support I might be able to provide as you navigate your spiritual path, please feel free to check out my offerings at connectingwithnoelle.com and reach out at mediumshipsparkspodcast@gmail.com. Take good care of yourself, and I'll look forward to being with you again soon.